Welcome back to the semi-finals of Master Arabia, everyone. In the blue, we have Tim playing for RVK, and in the red, Jordan23 playing for Tyrants. We are in game 1, so that means it is going to be a hand war, and I am here joined by Sammy yet again, and I'll let him introduce himself as always.
Hey guys, Sammy here, just doing another one with Jordan and Tim, as Turk already said, and it's a Hun War, so let's see what we got over here.
As well, both players have had quite a bit to get this far. Tim, in this game at the moment, I think Jordan is the preferred winner, well, the person who they are expecting to win. However, you know, it changes in things like this. It is Master Arabia. There have been lots of things. Tim known as a pretty good wall and boomer, Jordan known as a very aggressive player. So when those two butt heads, and you've got one player walling and one just playing super aggressively, the aggressive player will lose out if the player is walled, just because of the fact they've spent so much resources on getting that little army out, and the fact is they're not going to be able to do any harassment with it.
I must agree very well with that, and actually I'm going to just describe what's Jordan's position right here. He's not looking good at all. Not at all. His gold is blocked out within trees, which is not good, and it also is on a hill right here, so that is not good at all for him. Looking at his stone over here, it is surrounded by trees also, and that's not in good position also. So if Tim can come over here, use this hill advantage to him, he can do quite a bit of damage right there. He can pick on Jordan's gold over here. He can also pick on the stone. But let's see how this turns out. I'm actually looking in favor of Jordan winning this game. That's just my bias right there.
Yeah, but as you said as well, Jordan just does not have a very good stone position at all, or a gold one in fact. Stone position that is up against those trees, so hopefully he'll be able to push hard into the game and be able to use that to his advantage, and so much not try and wall in and defend, but go aggressive on Tim, so that Tim has no choice but to sit back and defend, so Jordan can actually use this. But talking about the gold positioning, like you said, this one here is stuck in the trees. Another one up on this hill here, which, like you said, if Tim manages to get up there and hold this area down, it's going to be a lot of trouble for Jordan to take it back. And then if we look at the other gold mine again, it's out in front in another little area where Tim could just bust off at those villages. So Jordan not looking very good at all at the moment.
Yes, and if we actually look over to how Tim is doing over here, his lumber camp is not in the idle position at all. He barely has enough lumber for the start of the game. Is very in the front, so he can get harassed. I'm not going to be surprised if I see scouts coming in there and harassing those. It'd be a better idea if he went from the back of what he has over there.
Yeah, definitely there's more on there, but again, it's not a nice map at all at the moment for either player actually, and we just had a bit of a boar glitch there for Tim, which is always helpful, and looks like we've seen a fair bit of scouting from both players. But let's check the scouting for both players. From Tim, we've seen most of his arc covered. He's found 2-3 gold mines by the looks of it. 1, 2... Actually, no, he's missed out on the main one there, which is interesting because he's scouted everywhere except for this black patch, and there's his main gold mine in there. I'm guessing, though, that, you know, he's seen that there's no big gold mine around. I'm betting he knows it's in there. So, Mill finally going up, and finally going out to scout for Jordan. How's Jordan's scouting looking?
Jordan's also going to scout out Tim. He just got his first boar lure in. He just got his lumber camp up, and actually no, he has not got his mill up yet. He's probably looking forward to getting that mill up any second now. But yes, both players are going forward to scout each other, and by the looks of it, Jordan has scouted out his forward gold, and he knows that this is not going to be an easy game at all for him unless he goes forward really harsh on that forward movement of him, because his map is not an idle position at all.
Yeah, if we compare it over to Tim's is relatively flat ground, pretty much all around, so the map advantage would definitely be going to Tim at the moment. So it's going to come down to see which player can make the most of the map, because Tim knows that he could wall in this area. In fact, it wouldn't actually be too hard for him to wall in, except for this main patch over here, next to the 2 extra golds. That would be the only real area that's going to be hard for him to wall in. The rest, he can kind of just conjoin up with cliffs and trees and whatnot and get there. Jordan, relatively the same situation, however his wall off would be really small and he would not have much resources in there at all. So, like I said, it's going to come down to how the players can abuse the map and use the map to their advantage.
I must agree with you, and especially on that walling part. And just for the side commentary, Jordan is also just getting his Warlord in the second one. And like you were saying about that wall off, it is very easy for him to wall off, but it's going to be very small, and his gold is not in idle position once again. So he can't even wall himself up and try booming up because his gold is just in terrible position for him. On the other hand, Tim cannot also wall off that well in this game because he's going to have to wall off a really vast area of land. And that's all we can say right now until we see them advancing up or try to get a drush in here.
Yeah, well, it doesn't look like either player is going to be going for the drush at this stage. We haven't seen a barracks up for either player yet, and we're currently coming up onto 7 minutes. So I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see a drush from either player. So we're not expecting to see gold out of them yet either. No player has sent a villager over to just gather gold or anything like that to try and get an extra few militia out. And in fact, there's just a lot that we haven't seen so far. And actually, does Jordan have loom yet?
Jordan, he does not have loom yet. That is very interesting. And that is very interesting. He has that 100 gold. If he does not get that loom in, and Tim decides to come in with his scouts, that's going to pack a huge blow at his economy.
Yeah,
hopefully he gets that loom very soon.
Yeah, loom getting done right now, actually. So he just wanted to get that extra villager count up, which is completely fine. And Tim now moving to that back wood as well, which we said would probably be the best move, just because there's going to be so much more there, and it's going to be harder to harass. Mostly just because of the fact that they're not going to be able to walk straight and hit them. He does have a good chance to hit them, and he will have a chance to run back to his town center before anything really happens. So we have Jordan advancing now, Tim advancing too, so both pretty much right on the mark for that one. And looking at the bases, we haven't seen anything too unusual come up. Looking at it though, they do have quite a few villages on food, so and none on gold for either players yet actually. And more lumberjacks moving out now. And is that Tim going forward, or is he just going to the deer here? And it's going to be scouted by Jordan right now. Jordan, it looks like he's going forward with 3 villages right now. Jordan has scouted it. And I think Jordan knows he's going to be in trouble when these villages get up. 4 villages actually coming forward right now.
Yes, I see that. It looks like Tim is definitely moving forward. This is very interesting. As you said, he's more like a wall and boom player. But looking back, Jordan's almost into the feudal age, so maybe he can counter this very soon.
Yeah, we've already got the barracks going up on that hill, so maybe if he manages to get a few archers out, maybe a few spears just to mess with, well, getting the buildings up, he might be able to do a lot more damage. But still, looking at it, we haven't seen any gold from Tim yet, no gold at all. We've seen lots of wood collectors and lots of food collectors. So he's either going to have to go for a large skirmisher mix, or a spear scout mix, or something like that, or a spear skirmisher mix. Just some kind of trash unit mix at this stage, because he's got no gold that he's going to be able to use. Of course, he could get that one archer out, but not really worth it at this stage. Jordan actually doing the smart thing here. If we look towards the front of his base, he's actually got a outpost up right now, so he's going to be able to see if he comes really forward or wants to tower him or something like that.
Yes, I was just about to point the outpost out. Glad that you covered it. I think because he saw this villager, he does not really know what is happening at all. He's using his scout to scout out his eastern half of his base, or location, you could say. Because with that outpost, he can find out if any harassment is going to go on his gold at all. Because he knows that his gold is not in idle position at all. This is his life source right here. Because if he wants to get those archers out, he will definitely have to mine it very cautiously, because every gold matters for him. Because we see an archery range coming up for Tim right here, and a barracks right there. So Tim is definitely going forward in this game.
Yeah, definitely. He's got the pressure on Jordan already. He's pretty much straight from the start. Especially because he's starting off with this archer on top of the hill. It means he's going to be able to have that bonus, which is absolutely great. Jordan managing to get quite a bit of trash out at this stage, though. 3 spears right now and a skirmisher. Going to be able to delay those villagers doing anything else, but nothing major. Scout's not going to be able to get in there because of all of that spears that we already have in there. But naturally, as we know, villagers beat spearmen because they have insane karate skills.
Of course, and especially with the loom, they can just completely outdo them. But then again, villagers, they're only... Every time they are attacked, they move back. They're like afraid to attack, and that's even with Spanish villagers. If you attack them, they're just gonna run away. They don't. That's one. I don't know. Maybe they're fixing this in Forgotten Empires. I'm not sure, but that's all right there. Because those villagers, they're gonna pack quite a bit of punch. But then we got to pay attention back here in Tim's base. He's not doing very much over in his base at all.
Yeah, you're right. He's pretty much going full offensive. He is keeping that villager count up, though, which is good, still producing them. Hasn't moved on to gold yet, so it looks like we're going to see quite a big trash war down here. Villagers, of course, doing quite a good job. We have 2 archery ranges up for both players and a barracks. Nothing unusual yet. Neither player still on gold, which is just incredible. I was not expecting this to just go complete trash. But at this stage in the game, like we said, Jordan's golds are completely just... Oh, they're in such bad positions for him. And I'm surprised we haven't seen Tim go for it, though, because Tim would have realised this by now, that his opponent's got such bad gold and is going for trash. So if he could get some heavy gold units out, he could do quite a bit of damage.
Do you think that Tim might go for a fast castle in here, especially since he has the upper hand right at this point?
I wouldn't be expecting it. I personally
sorry.
wouldn't. I personally wouldn't expect it to be a fast castle, just because of the fact Jordan's already started getting quite a lot of units out, and we can actually see a tower coming up right now on Jordan's golden, well, other wood source at the moment. So there's not really a lot that a fast castling is going to be able to do at the moment. He's not going to be able to get an extra town centre up until he mines some stone, and that's of course because of this watchtower coming up. And I just don't really see the point in going up this early. Of course he could get some of those knights out, but as we've seen, Jordan does have quite a few spears out in play, even though they're all getting just killed off by those skirmishes already. But still, there's just not a lot that I think he could benefit out of it. Right now, he needs to be devoting most of his resources into this trash war up here.
Yes, looking right here, Jordan's sending 6 villagers to take out this tower right there, because that tower is definitely going to cause him some trouble. But this is definitely hurting Jordan's economy right here, because he only has 1, 2, 3, 4. He only has 5 villagers on his wood now, so I don't think he will be able to keep up his trash army anymore. I mean, for that long, because if Tim just continues his pressure right here, this might just be GG for him soon at this rate. I don't expect it, but it just might be.
As we can see as well, these villages are all getting picked off really quickly. Tim is actually repairing the tower to keep these villages off the production as long as possible. And the fact is as well, he's actually killing off these villages with the skirmishes while they're trying to kill it off. So he's doing quite well here actually. I think he's only lost 1 villager on the repair so far. And as we can see, those skirmishes are picking them off quite quickly. But again, Jordan's still losing a lot of villagers on this tower. However, running out of stone now to repair that tower, so it looks like that tower will finally go down. And actually, something really important to note, Jordan is actually bringing another 5 villagers across to destroy this tower. However, it is going down and they are just idling right now.
Yes, I saw that. I wonder what he's going to use those for. I wonder if he might just go forward too.
I wouldn't expect it because he's already got so much pressure on him, but he's returning them all to lumber now, so it should be alright. And we've just got an insane amount of skirmishes up here. It's going to be a complete skirmish fight. Neither player having any upgrades at this stage though, so that's really interesting to note. I don't think of it. Blacksmith just going down for Tim now and getting that fletching on the way. Jordan does not have a blacksmith, so Tim's going to have the obvious advantage here.
Yes, I saw that, but the fact that, yes, we can see that Tim is pulling him away from off the hill, but that's the only advantage Jordan really has against him at this point. He just has the hill advantage right here.
Yeah, and once that +1 comes in for Tim, Jordan's going to be in a lot of trouble trying to micro against it, because Tim's just going to be able to stutter step or kite those skirmishes away, and there's nothing they're going to be able to do because they're outranged, and when you're outranged, there's not a lot you can really do. And it looks like Tim's coming back around for the attack right now. If he can get up onto the top area of this hill where Jordan's archery range is, there's going to be a lot of problems for Jordan, especially since he's already got that +1 attack.
Yes, I see the skirmishers moving around. I wonder exactly where he's... I think he's going to go for the hill, as you said. I think he's trying to take the back route to his wood.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have much luck though, because those skirmishers should be able to head them off fairly easy. But I don't know if he's going to be going for the complete engagement here, and it looks like Jordan is moving out and forcing
actually
Tim back down that hill. Losing 2 skirmishes, and maybe a 3rd on the retreat there. Still no +1 for Jordan though. That's really going to hurt him.
Yes, he should be getting that anytime soon. And actually, we look over here. Tim is definitely going to head for getting in that, what do you call it, the gold. Yes, he's definitely. I think he's going to go for scouts very soon, and try and get that bloodlines. And maybe he's likely going to go for scouts. I'm pretty sure when you see an army completely composed of skirmishers, you're going to go for scouts.
Yeah, well, he's already got that stable up now, and he's got scouts producing already, so it seems like the way to go. Jordan has his blacksmith up now, and that +1 still has not been done. I'll check its progress right now. Currently done, so they're on pretty even footing it now for that. But like you said, as soon as those scouts get in, they're going to be able to run straight into the middle of that skirmisher ball, and because skirmishers have the minimum range, there's not a lot they're going to be able to do to defend up against it. Wouldn't be surprised actually if we see the armor upgrades done as well, just because those scouts can absorb so much skirmisher damage.
Yes, and actually, if we look down here by Jordan's main goal, we're going to be seeing a tower coming up very soon right there.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's probably the best decision as well, because like we've said, Tim's got archery ranges right here. He's already tried to tower at once. Well, not tried, succeeded in towering at once. So putting a tower up there is probably his best defensive option. And as we can see, though, both players have moved on to gold finally. Tim having 6 villages on gold, while Jordan only has 3, transferring 2 now, so up to the 5.
Yes, actually, if you look on the map, we're going to be expecting those scout cavalry come in very soon. They are still not upgrading. There has been no armor on their. What do you call it? There hasn't been no scout armor added to them.
Yeah, well, it's not that big thing really, because of course when they don't have the upgrade, skirmishers only have 2 attacks, so it's still taken down to 1. But with the +1, naturally, it's still on the 1 as well, so it's nothing really to be too scared about. It can really help out if you're going in for aggression against town centers, towers, archers, of course, because they have that higher attack. But at the moment, it shouldn't matter too much unless they get upgraded again. But it looks like Jordan's still a fair way off going to Castle Age. And we've actually got the archer transition in right now for Jordan, transferring it into some archers there. Spears as well. We've got 1 spear created. And here come those scout cavalry that we were just talking about.
Yeah, I was expecting those scout cavalry to come anytime soon now. Do you think Tim is going to stick with his archers, or is he going to transition into knights once he gets into Castle Age? If there's going to be that anytime soon, because he has quite a bit of villagers on his food and on gold.
If Jordan keeps up this, if you look at the amount of skirmishes Jordan has, cavalry archers at this stage just really aren't a good option, just because of the fact that this bowl here could be split up, and they could still cover most of his base, which is the reason that cavalry archers are so effective, because they can outrun skirmishes. But when there's so many in place straight away and you can't start to outmass, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So I definitely would expect knights if we see this skirmisher count still really high by the time he hits Castle Age. However, neither player looking like they're going to be advancing anytime soon yet still, only on 100 food. Actually, Tim's saving up a little bit here, so he could possibly be going for it, and that could be the reason he's transitioning into archers as well, wanting to keep that military production up, but needing to get that food count up.
That is, yes, and I think, by the looks of it, yes, we can see what's it called. Jordan is transferring onto stone. I think we're going to expect to see more towers coming up for him, because he definitely has to be on the defensive in here.
We've got 1 up on the wood right now, which is definitely helping him keep Tim at bay at this stage, and we've got 1 up on the gold as well, which we noted before, but this area of the base is starting to look fairly secured. The only real area Tim has that he could come in is through this gap over in the bottom corner, through the tree line there. However, still, it's this skirmisher army down here is going to be looking very dangerous. Both players having the armor advantage on those guys now, so there's no real advantage there for any player, but of course having that little extra armor, there's nothing wrong with that at all, especially when you're up against scouts, because that +1, it really doesn't hurt at all.
Yes, I'm very interested in what is going to happen now, because I think Jordan is not looking too good in this game at all. Hopefully he doesn't resign right here, because things not looking. He's definitely not going to resign right here, but I hope he doesn't resign anytime soon, because this is not looking good for him at all.
Yeah, Jordan's known as a player though, unless all hope is gone, and just there's no chance at all, he won't resign. I'm expecting this game to go on until most of these skirmishes are dead and this archery range on the top of the hill is killed off. Until that happens, I would be expecting Jordan to be putting in quite a bit of effort to getting back in there. Because, as Jordan knows, he's been playing for a long time, there's always a way to get back into the game as long as you're not too far behind. And at this stage, he's still in a pretty good situation, honestly. I mean, everything coming down the map, everything like that's pretty bad. But for how bad everything is, he could be in such a worse situation right now. And lots of harassment coming in on his wood right now, actually. Lots of skirmish harassment there from Tim. So that could prove really troubling.
Yes, I see that, and I think, by the looks of it, he might lose quite a few villages on his wood production right here, because he's definitely, those scouts are going to cause quite a bit of damage to his skirmisher army. It's going to push him back.
Yeah, well, Jordan managing to retake the hill at the moment, pushing Tim back, and if we look, we actually see Tim advancing up to the Castle Age. Jordan still needing 130 food, and more stables coming up for Tim, so it looks like we were right on our knight prediction there. How is it looking for Jordan? Are we going to see any knights? Is he just going to be going for a complete cavalry archer mix?
I would definitely expect more cavalry archer mix because he's getting another archer range up, so that's going to be his third archer range now. And if we look on the map, he's actually stacking up on a few archers to move forward with, but I don't think they'll be doing any harm anytime soon.
Yeah, we can see another defensive tower going up for Tim right now. Third archer range, of course, coming up on the top of that hill there. And Tim's still having his only archery production buildings in the middle, well, just on the outskirts of Jordan's base. So those buildings, if Jordan can lock them down, should be a really good advantage. But still, like we said, Tim's going to be going for those knights, and that's going to prove really dangerous against this large skirmisher mix.
Yes, and by the looks of it, we're getting some harassment in from the skirmishers on the very far left of the screen. Anytime soon they're moving forward.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too. Looks like one village there is getting close to get picked off, and it shows at the moment just how good Tim's micro is. Jordan is leaving a few of these villages idling at the moment. A few of these units aren't doing anything, and Tim looking like he's going to be a real contestant in these games. Honestly, going forward like that really hurt Jordan, and as you can see by the scores, they are really close.